Hey, what's going on, world? It's Alex Acosta, and I'm back with another How Did I Do It inside of Vegas. This particular project, I got to direct the former First Lady, Michelle Obama. But what I really want to show you is how important markers are. Let's jump into Vegas so I can show you how markers saved my life on this project. Man, it was a super cool experience to direct this episode for Revolt for the former First Lady. We had everybody in the building from Angie Martinez, Winnie Harlow, Tina Knowles, Kelly Rowland, and her. All right, so we're inside the timeline and you guys can see how much footage there is. This was a 7-cam shoot. You add the program feed that makes it 8 cams right there that I had to go in between. And this was a little over 2 hours, this interview. So you could only imagine the amount of coverage. But what I want you to see is all these orange lines that you see here. That's what we're talking about here today, the marker. So think about in a 2-hour conversation, how much coverage you got to get. And when someone asks for a particular clip, you got to constantly remember where to go to. And so many people said so many interesting things, some cool things. I got to know where to jump to in the timeline. So these markers help me remember what's going on. And to easily create a marker on top of the board right here, just right click and you see marker. You can hit marker or region, but today we're going to work on marker. And then let's just assume whatever it is there, you can write whatever you want. I'm just going to scribble dabble and delete that. But if you want to delete it, right click, let's delete. But for example, this was really crucial for me. Number one is obviously it says Michelle crying about her dad. So I knew all the media outlets were gonna ask me about this particular clip. So I made a note for myself so I know instantly how to jump into it.
Getting up every day and going to work was a statement that, now I'm gonna cry.
So you could only imagine how that was gonna be for media-wise, having the former First Lady be very emotional about her father. So I knew that was gonna be a pivotal point. And again, as I scrub through the timeline, you can see how many of these points I have to make because again, there's X amount of guests in here making points. They all have their own PRs, including our company, Revolt has their PRs. So there's certain hits that they had to grab and I had to be ready to have that all listed and ready. So every time they asked me for it, I knew exactly where to jump to go get those clips. And without those markers, can you imagine for 2 hours me scrubbing through the timeline to try to find exactly where they said this or where they said, even though I directed it and I was there, it's still a 2-hour conversation that I have to find that specific point. And that, my friends, is how markers inside of Vegas saved my life on that project. Big shout out to the former First Lady, Michelle Obama.
And just the sheer act of him getting up every day and going to work was a statement that, now I'm gonna cry. Stays with me every day of my life. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about the lessons he taught us.